Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the first ever pilot edition of the latest podcast in your podcast feed / YouTube, whatever it may be. We're calling it 1 hour, one brain cell. And it is myself. I'm Richie. That's Jordan. And
I'm Jordan.
This show, I don't know what this show is going to be. It's mostly just an excuse for Jordan and I to be ridiculous for an hour every week. So, Jordan, do you want to tell the people, number one, who you are, and number two, what this show's all about?
Well, I mean, where do we start with that one, really? But like you said, this is just an excuse for us to talk at each other. We decided that the world needed one more podcast, and what we needed to fix everything was the two of us spitballing every week. So I had the thought that we would like introduce each other a little bit because I feel like that's the most unfiltered, I think. So I wrote down a couple of bits for you, which is mostly that Richie is the tall guy that will feel bad about standing in front of you at a concert. And he's also the person I know that is most likely to clown himself about something that the teenagers posted on the internet this week.
Those are both 100% correct. We had an entire discussion about concert etiquette this week or last week, whenever it was. And every time I see it, it's the same exact meme. And it's always people who are talking about getting behind tall people at concerts. So yeah, for the people at home, I'm 6 foot tall. So I'm pretty tall, taller than most people. And so I'll get it gives me, it annoys the crap out of me every time I go to a concert. I'm like, sorry guys, I can't do anything about my height. Like I'm here. I want to see the show the same as you. Like I'm here to have a good time. So that's 100%
for the
true.
People that are vertically challenged, like myself, he's the guy that you don't want standing in front of you, but know that he has a conscience about it. So if you ever see him in public, just know that you feel bad, but he might feel worse. Yeah.
And I've had this happen for a long time because both of my sisters are like just north of 5 feet tall. And so anytime I'd go to shows with them, it's the same thing. It's like, I'm like, sorry guys, I'm just here to enjoy the show as much as you are. We went to 21 Pilots concert a while back and we were in the pit and they were in front of me. And then at some point I just lost them. I had no idea where they went. I was like, see ya.
That happens to me, but for the opposite reason. I lose people because I get pushed to the front. One of my very favorite moments is I was with my college roommate and we went to see the Chainsmokers. It was, you might remember this, but it was that March Madness music festival they did in downtown Phoenix a couple of years ago. That's where we went to college for the viewers at home. It was great because they brought in all these acts and these artists and you could stand there all day in the park if you wanted to and like see a bunch of acts for free. But I essentially got crowd surfed to the front at the Chainsmokers. Like, I don't think my feet were consciously on the ground for a good part of that. And I lost the people I went with like almost immediately and ended up like fairly close to the front, but it was like a wash. I was like, where are they? Like stranded, desert island, like castaway.
I did not prepare anything in terms of trying to introduce you, so I'll have that ready for the next show. Because I couldn't come up with anything as good as that on the fly like that.
That's all right. I don't think we can really contain me to one episode anyway.
I agree. So here's what we're gonna do for our debut episode. We have a couple things lined up, Jordan. We're gonna try and keep this on track. That's usually not gonna happen. We're 5 minutes in. We've already ranted about God knows what and gone off our track already. But here's what's coming up. So we're gonna talk about Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Are we Black Friday shoppers? How much shopping do we do this year? Do we have any Thanksgiving rituals? How did Jordan do in terms of cooking up cranberries? We'll find out about that. We have, of course, the other biggest holiday this week, which is Spotify Wrapped. I'm sure we'll get into the argument about how you and I differ when it comes to our listening choices. There's a tease for you. And we also have our hopefully weekly game called Red Flag, Green Flag. And we'll introduce that coming up a little bit later in the show. But let's start with Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Jordan, did you do any Black Friday shopping this year?
I absolutely did not. I stay far away from that. Also, because like I'm not out here trying to blow a bunch of money on Black Friday. But the reason that I put this in here is because I feel like this is a discussion, but like Black Friday is not the same now as when we were kids. Like I remember like talking to people like my mom, and it was like I refused to go out on Black Friday for the reason that it was like horrifying. Like the whole day was like the jungle scene from Mean Girls, where there's all the papers in the hallway and people are like no one is fist fighting each other in a Best Buy today. But I think we need to get back to that because now it's a whole week and it just doesn't have the same vibe. I want it to be hostile.
and the deals anymore are crap compared to what they used to be. Like now it's like
Right.
you'd be able to get a $400 TV for like $200, and you could only get it if you slept overnight at your local Best Buy at like 3:00 in the morning when they open at 7. That's the only way you could get it. And now that's not the case. But
It was like people like banging on the doors outside, like, let me in. I'm trying to get in and do I'm going to walk out with a flat screen or I'm going to walk out with somebody's head on a spike. But like either way, this is happening. Black Friday is not hostile enough for me anymore.
That's insane. That's insane. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that. No, I'm not about that. Not about that. I don't mind big crowds. Trust me. Been around many big events, many big crowds. Never bothers me. But there is no way in hell I'm fighting somebody for a piece of electronics. I say that, and I have participated in Black Friday before, so I'm a bit of a hypocrite.
No, but here's my theory that I've just come up with this. It's perfect. You give me a week to defend my dissertation on this. Black Friday, as it used to be, is the closest that humanity has gotten to touching the purge.
It's true. That's my 100% true.
That's my thought.
The one time I did do it that I remember is I went to Target. Now this was about, I don't know, this is probably 6 or 7 years ago, because I went to Target when they opened at like 10:00 at night. And at that time they had like a good iPhone promotion. So I went and I bought the new iPhone, but I didn't have to like brave the crowds or anything. Like I didn't have to stand in line for an hour to get my TV. I was like in and out in half an hour. It was great. It's easy peasy. That's the way I want it. I don't want to, like, as somebody who's worked in retail multiple times, right, during the holidays.
That's so true. Yeah.
Not having to deal with anybody is great.
That's really true. I forgot it. Well, I don't know if I forgot or if I just repressed my time working in retail. I think that's a trauma response. We can talk about that. We can talk about that later.
leave that for a future episode. So you did not
my therapist.
So you did not do any shopping this year.
No, I did not. I don't think we didn't do anything. I had to work a little bit this year, but my parents were in town. So it was essentially just like once I got done with work, I was just taking them and doing whatever they wanted to do, which like was not shopping, which perfectly fine with. I'm good with that.
Hey, can we do, since your parents were in town, and you said you were out and about, can we do a temperature check for the people at home? I always like doing this.
Check. Yeah, let me see. What do I got?
I call it a heat check. Let's do a heat check.
Heat check. Cold check right here. It's currently 43.
Oh.
The high today was only 40. Well, it was cloudy all day. The high today was 46 and it rained a little bit.
Stop it. Back here in the beautiful valleyed mountains of Arizona, it is currently 67 and sunny. When I woke up this morning, I texted you because I was up early because I was watching soccer, and the game was over at 9:00. I was like, what do I do now? I have 2 hours before NFL starts. Do I leave the house and go outside when it's 42 degrees? And I did. I left, and I decided to wear actual pants outside, which that's how you know it's really cold for me, is if I decide to go pants, right? Because like, how often do you see me wearing full pants? Like almost never. It's always
valid.
I always wear shorts, and my Corey and Kat always make fun of me for this, because every time we would go out, if it was around this time of year, I would complain. I'd be like, it's cold, and they were like, Richie, You're wearing shorts, you
pants on.
idiot. Stop complaining.
I have the opposite problem is that if you see me wearing shorts, you know it's really hot because you'll never catch me in a pair of shorts. But I think
true.
that you are making a really great pitch and a great selling point for all of the snowbirds, and I don't know if we need any more of those in your home state. We don't need any more of those.
I tend to agree. I always especially now, like it's like we're becoming Los Angeles very, very quickly on the freeways because it's pretty much packed from about 2:00 until 7:00. So it's like 5 hours of rush hour traffic.
Yeah, I don't miss that.
It's hell every time. It's hell every time. All right. So I didn't really do any shopping either. I almost never do. But this year I was kind of an adult. I bought two things, one of which I've needed for a while, which is I was telling you before the show, I went to go get a package. That's what it was. I bought cleaning supplies.
That was your major Black Friday purchase?
Yes. I bought I bought some new cleaning like solution to clean around the house with, and I also bought some new like dishwasher and dishes stuff.
I love how excited you are about like buying 409 for the first time.
It's not. See, I'm glad you brought that up because this is the plug. I'm going to sneak in here and I'm going to send this to the people so we can get sponsored. Blue Land. I love Blue Land. They're one of my favorite companies in the world. They are like an eco-friendly, non-plastic, like household supplies company. So you can buy pretty much anything you can think of: dishwasher, dishes, laundry, hand soap, that kind of stuff. And they're great. And I swear by them. So that's
actually a great plug. And we're not sponsored. This is our pilot episode.
Mm-hmm.
We're plugging stuff in our pilot episode. Hey, companies, corporate, get on board, get in here early. You know you want a piece of this.
So that's my plug for Blue. I'm going to send that off to their CEO.
Yeah.
But I also, I was not intending to buy anything else. And then I was scrolling the Twitter at 10:00 at night, as I do. And I came across a tweet from somebody that they had purchased a bunch of vinyl records. And it just so happens that these particular set of records have been ones I've been searching for. Bad idea for me, because I saw it and I was like, of course I need that, right? Come on, I need to spend $60 on a new vinyl record. So that was my other purchase. I purchased Little Oblivions by Julian Baker on a pricing that's 1 of 500, and I was very happy about that purchase. I got it for less than $60 off
that is a perfect record, by the way. That's top to bottom. That's a fantastic record.
No skips. So I bought that from her record label, which is great. So thank you, 6131, for diving into your smorgasbord of records to go and find those.
They're in the vault. They were digging through the vault for that.
Mm-hmm. So
that's good stuff.
So I got that. Haven't received it yet. Should be coming very, very soon, though.
Sweet. Yeah, I did all my shopping after Black Friday this year, which feels like a choice, but like I don't think it was conscious, but I just sort of waited until Cyber Monday, which is now Cyber Week, which goes back to my same point about like Black Friday and Cyber, like they're not a thing anymore. And I wonder if that happened during the pandemic and we just like weren't aware of it, that because of that, everybody like stretched everything out to make it more accessible online. Anyway, that I did all my shopping after that. I got some good deals. I got a good deal on something that's coming for you that I have to wait to give to you, but you don't get to know what it is. But I did get a good deal on it.
Don't tell me. That's no fun.
Why would I do that? No.
I'm
so bad at that though. I'm the person that buys a gift and then like immediately wants to tell that other person about it because I think I did such a good job with it. Like I have this gift I've been sitting on for my mom for months now, probably, and you know what it is, but like I have struggled not to tell anyone. I didn't tell my dad until he was just here this past week for Thanksgiving. Like, he didn't know, but I was like, I have to keep it from him, because if I break the ice and get one parent, then I feel like I'm like a step closer to tipping over the edge there and accidentally spilling something to my mom. So I've done a really good job, and I only have like 3 more weeks to go.
Yeah, you almost got there. See, yeah, I didn't. So you told me almost immediately that you had bought me a gift. Like, you sent me the screenshot, and I was like, you didn't have to do that. And of course, I wasn't going to tell you. Your gift is sitting like over there somewhere, actually. So
yeah.
So we'll do like you know how like after like games and stuff like that, like football games, whatever, and people do a jersey swap.
Jersey swap, yeah. Gift swap. All right, perfect. It's the true meaning of Christmas, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what you should do.
I'm down. Let's do it.
God. See, folks, we already gone off the rails completely. Completely.
It's in the title. Nobody joining this podcast should ever expect it to go in a linear and organized fashion. We can make talking points all we want, but we're going to go in circles around it and then maybe eventually make our way back.
We should probably explain the title. We haven't done that.
Is there really an explanation? It was just like, I just threw some ideas out there, and I don't remember what it was. It wasn't 1 hour, one brain cell, but it was something like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we workshopped it together, but I don't even know if I remember what the original idea was. I have goldfish brain. Let's be real. Let's just put that out there right now. If you remember, you can tell the story.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but the reason we really stuck on the one brain cell idea, because Jordan, you and I always joke about the fact that between the two of us, we only share one brain cell because the two of us can't be smart at the same time. We have to
pass it back and forth.
Exactly. So we share the one brain cell for the entire hour of each episode. And somehow, some ways, we'll try and stay on the same track. So that's where the name came from.
Yeah, and it just sounds good. It just sounds good. But it does kind of like, I think it fits within the sphere of podcasts. It's catchy. Plus, it won an Instagram vote. It won an Instagram vote by like an overwhelming amount. Like, I asked people, I was like, please look at these options and help us. It wasn't even close.
The people spoke loud and clear. I love that.
This podcast is a democracy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Your voice matters.
We should have like a vote every week that we put out on Instagram of some sort to like decide something. I don't know what it would be like. Like if it's like something that we have to wear on the show, something that we have to a topic, something like that.
I like that.
We're spitballing live on our show, so.
That's what this entire show is. You were asking me beforehand. You're like, how do we want to do the introductions? How do we want to talk about? I'm like, I don't know. Let's just do it live. This is Saturday Night Live.
Do it live.
It's Sunday, but we'll just pretend that joke went over.
How did the cooking of the cranberries go?
I didn't burn my apartment down, which myself, my parents, and my landlord are probably really grateful for. But I was terrified because I'm going to go back to talking about a crock pot, which is it's going to happen a lot, I feel like, but
it's like your baby now. I kind of love it.
I guess it is. But we talked about this in our I don't know, workshop episode that like we didn't actually record any of this, but it was like over a Sunday a couple of weeks ago where we were like, we should probably actually sit down and talk about the format and how we want to do this. So it's not all live, but yeah, the crock pot is my baby. I did buy slow cooker liners. Thank you. And I've been influenced. It's very easy to do, but I was terrified because I woke up early. I made sweet potato casserole from scratch. So I got the potatoes, diced them, peeled them, put them in there. It's like a very hands-off dish. Like it's pretty foolproof, but I made it early and then it was done kind of early, which was my fault, but I had to go get my parents from the airport. And so I had to leave my crock pot on warm while I went to go get them. And nice. I got a little gesture. I had to leave my crock pot on warm. And I was so afraid that I was going to like come back to the fire department outside my house or something. And it wasn't. We were good. We're done. So we did that. We did mashed potatoes. We did cranberry. And I mean, we could we could post those pictures as publicity for this episode. We could post our cranberry photos. Yeah, that was fine. That was store bought. I'm not afraid to admit that that was store bought. And then I made, sliders, which was my dad's request. We made like ham sliders instead of roasting a whole turkey, because that would have been a little bit ambitious for my first try. That would have put the fire department outside my house, and I don't think we're equipped for that.
I'm impressed. Well done. I did not do any cooking. I usually don't. Sometimes I'll hop in and do the sweet potatoes, which by the time I showed up at my parents' house this year were already done. So I was like, all right, cool. I got everything's already done. The one thing I normally do, but I did not do this particular Thanksgiving, is I almost always make our family's pumpkin pie, and it is delicious. And I wish I could have you try a piece, because it's top notch.
Yeah,
but
you gotta plug that recipe.
I didn't have the stuff on hand to make it with this year.
That's a skill issue.
So I was like, Mom, I don't have the stuff I need to make the pie. And then my sister made it. So I show up, I don't have any cooking to do. So instead of doing like a, hey, this is what I cooked picture, I literally sent you a picture of my empty plate after I had finished.
That's correct. I did receive that image
after I finished my entire plate of food, and it was delicious. And we had like turkey, sweet potatoes, corn. Top notch, to be honest.
That's
top notch.
Very, very like traditional Thanksgiving food, but like hard to go wrong with it. Mm-hmm. So like I would say that both of us are probably team turkey, if I'm not mistaken. Are you like team turkey, team ham? Do you have a preference?
I actually prefer ham.
Interesting.
But we usually kind of go rotate generally. So we'll do like between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we'll do like ham for one and turkey for the other.
That makes sense.
Type of thing. And so we did turkey for Thanksgiving. This year we'll probably do ham for Christmas, and then vice versa for every other holiday. We kind of swap back and forth. But I prefer ham, because turkey is really tough to like get right. Like if you screw it up, it's like not. If you overdo it and it's too dry, no, game over.
Correct. And then you underdo it, it's bleeding. You're like, I don't feel good about the food safety of this item. Yeah. Okay. So main dishes are taken care of. Side dishes. What's your hot take? What's the worst side dish you've experienced?
Ooh. I will say the one thing that we make every year that my sisters love that I don't is like either mashed potatoes or like baked potatoes, kind of like potato slices that are baked, not like actual baked potatoes. Those are my thumbs down. This
just feels like a throw a family member under the bus segment, but one of the worst, it's always the people that decide to make an out-of-pocket thing, I think, that tends to be the worst. Because like you said, like I think we covered all the basics. You're like, you got your turkey or your ham, your potato dish of some sort, your cranberries if you're a cranberry family. Just like you cover the basic, like stuffing even included. But it's always the people that go out of pocket and make something like, here's the thing I discovered in the past couple of weeks. It's called Watergate salad. And I think yes, I saw this on TikTok. I think this was made at a Thanksgiving a couple of years ago. And I will not call out a specific family member, but if you've ever had Watergate salad, you know what relative tends to bring Watergate salad to the function. And it is not good. It's like, what even is it? It's like apples, pistachios, like all of these dreadful things that you should not put in a dish and serve to the general public.
I looked it up. Watergate salad, made with pistachio pudding, pineapple, marshmallows, walnuts, and whipped topping, served as either side salad Besides salad, what the hell?
It's not a salad.
It's not a salad. It's pudding.
Okay, maybe it is a salad. We could go down that rabbit hole. It's like, is a soup a salad? Anyway, Watergate salad, quote unquote. It's just this fluffy green thing that it feels like it could be ripped from the biohazard stuff that turned them into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, I don't feel good about eating that.
The ooze. I can only assume it was like named after. I love my history, but I'm just gonna make this up because it sounds like about right without looking it up. The Watergate salad. Did you know this is named after Richard Nixon because Richard Nixon's favorite dish was this. He had it served at the White House all the time. And of course, Richard Nixon is most famous for Watergate, so that's why it's called Watergate salad.
I don't know how true that is, but only a crook would eat Watergate salad willingly. So I can't condone that.
Yeah, hold on, keep talking while I try and find out why it's called Watergate salad. Let's see.
Please don't. Okay, this is gonna be my public service announcement. If you're watching this in our pilot episode. And even if you don't listen to us for anything else, if you're like, wow, this is off the rails, I've had enough, I don't really want to come back for any more of this, please do the reasonable and sensible thing and do not bring Watergate salad to your family function. Just don't do it. Just say no.
All right, I found out why. I was actually fairly close, to be honest.
Was it really? Okay.
Closer than I would have imagined. It is sometimes said that Watergate salad was invented by a sous chef at the Watergate Hotel.
Horrifying. You're a credentialed chef and you came up. Carmy from The Bear would never do that. He would never do that to us.
Absolutely not.
How do you
actually know what's funny though?
No, that's kitchen leftovers, girl. He was looking through the cans and said, you know what? I'm like when you're a kid and you're at a table at a restaurant and you try and make a potion out of like all of the condiments and it's horrible and you try and make somebody take a bite of it. That's exactly what happened. That's just the adult version of that.
That's what it sounds like. I've never tried this before. I don't like pistachio stuff most of the time. Like pistachio ice cream sounds awful, but I'd at least be willing to try this if done right.
I'm sure they probably sell it at the grocery store, so maybe I'll buy you that when I see you next and make you try it. We'll get the verdict on
we'll
this.
Go on Instagram Live on our Instagram page, on the podcast Instagram page, and I'll
we
do
could,
a
which
review.
we have by the way. I've fully configured all of our socials and they're down there. So
yeah, there you go. That's our plug. You can follow us
for the audio listeners, because I forget that this is also a thing that's primarily audio and not just video. But we're at OHOBC Pod on everything, because branding.
Yes, I will say this is the thing that I will give you 9,000% credit for, because I always get crap all the time because my Twitter and my Instagram are not the same.
They are, and I don't remember which one is which. I have to search you every single time I go to tag you in something because I don't remember.
And the reason why that is because I was on Twitter in 2009, so I was like a fairly early adopter of Twitter, like right when it first started to become big. Because my first journalism class that I took at ASU, that was one of our things where we had to sign up for a Twitter account, and like we had some assignments, believe it or not, where like we had to live tweet events. Your mic went out. There it is.
Yeah, I think I figured out that was a mute button.
ADHD, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I had to like sign up for a Twitter account, and one of our assignments was we had to live tweet events or something like that, and that's why I started my Twitter account in 2009. I did not sign up for Instagram until multiple years later because I did not get a smartphone until I was a senior in college, till 2013. So
okay, but that feels reasonable.
That's how old school I am. I did not, because my parents couldn't afford it. Sure as shit, they couldn't afford it because they were me and my two sisters, so they didn't want to pay an outrageously high phone bill for an iPhone, right? For the three of us.
No, that feels like a reasonable year though.
Yeah, and so we all had like flip phones and stuff like that. Like I had like a Boost phone, Boost Mobile. Shout out,
Those were
Boost
great.
Mobile.
Those were great. Shout out Boost Mobile. This is gonna be the most. I don't know if you know this thing about me. You probably do. Because you know how everybody talks about like some of their old phones. They're like, I actually kind of miss those, like the like nostalgia of it. I went through a period of time where I had a BlackBerry because I thought that it was cool to have a BlackBerry for whatever reason. Like I was some business associate, like walking around with my like BlackBerry Bold or whatever. And we had to like unlock it from Verizon because I've been on T-Mobile like just my whole life. So I don't even know. It wasn't even worth it. I had to like essentially jailbreak a BlackBerry in order to have it. And then I had the little holster for it. I'm not making any friends on this first episode here, but I had the holster for it. You like, put it like the little belt clip. You like put it on your clip. You put the BlackBerry in it. I was balling. I was ready to like pick up my day shift at Goldman Sachs.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of jealous. That's really dope.
Please don't be jealous. I had no friends. I wasn't calling anybody on that BlackBerry. I had no friends to call.
Anyway, that's how we came up with our Instagrams, everybody. Or why our Instagrams are not the same. Yours is because you're a smart person. Mine's not. Anyway, yeah, so I didn't get an Instagram for later.
No, that feels like a stretch. I'm not that smart. I just decided to make everything consistent at like age 12, which like maybe was a pioneering move for me.
Shout out.
Thinking that maybe one day I would have a platform to use this on.
Shout out to you, by the way, because Jordan is a little bit younger than me. So social media was like just starting to become a thing for me, like when I was a teenager. So I wasn't on any of that at all, obviously. So I didn't really, I had MySpace, ladies and gentlemen, when I was in middle school and high school. So MySpace was the thing that we joined when I was 13 or whatever, 13 years old, something like that, around there.
What was your like MySpace, your like page song? Do you remember what that was?
It changed. It changed almost all the time. The one thing I did love about MySpace though is that your the song is but you could. It taught us all how to code from a very young age.
Yes.
So we had to like go on websites to like design your page and what it looks like. Most of the time, mine was like I had it themed to whatever team was in season at that point. So I had like a Rams one, I had a Suns one, Diamondbacks one. I would kind of rotate through those. But the song I remember. The hell?
Siri wanted to be included.
Bro, what in the world?
She's talking to you.
It literally transcribed like that entire thing, and it brought up a page, artinfocus.pdf, page 1, page 2, about the author, Gene Mittler. Gene Mittler is the author of Art in Focus, Glencoe's senior high school art history textbook.
What do you even have to put into Google to come up with that result?
I have no idea.
You'll never find that again. That's the dark web. No, that's the dark web.
Anyway, to get back on track.
Oh my God.
Back on track, ladies and gentlemen. The song, I remember 2 songs actually that I had on there. One was for a while, for whatever reason, don't really remember why, but I think this must have been during Halloween. So I had This Is Halloween on my MySpace page for a while, but it wasn't the original one.
It was the Marilyn Manson version.
It was the Marilyn Manson This Is Halloween version.
I knew that was where that was going.
I have no idea why. That's the first song that comes to mind. The other one, I had like a rotation of Three Doors Down songs I would put on there as well, because that's what I listened to in high school.
No, I forgot that, but like that's true, because I don't know if you were on Tumblr at all, but there was like a certain era of Tumblr as well that we were all like learning to code by like, because people would make like website layouts and you can go and like copy the layout and like that would be what your blog looked like, and you had to like go and fix it essentially if you like put all your code in there and it was broken. but it was like just copy paste different bits of like HTML or like CSS code to like make your layout, and people were like into that. I don't remember what years I was on Tumblr. It was like, you know, middle to probably early high school, but like I'm sure I could go back and find some of that stuff and be like, wow, that I spent an embarrassing amount of time coding my Tumblr page.
Did you are you too young to have had a MySpace? Was it a done thing by the time you?
It was either done or on its way out, because like I never had one. I never got
Yeah.
into it, and like none of my friends were on it that I know of, or maybe they were. Maybe that was where all the cool kids were hanging out on the last days of MySpace.
So I can't ask you what your MySpace song was.
No, I'm trying to remember though, because I think we did have like you could put a song or a playlist or a rotation on your Tumblr page, because it was very much similar.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, I don't know if this is around anymore, but 8-tracks was a thing, and you used to be able to like go and it would make you like a little collection of like 8 songs that would like play, and so it was either random or like it would play through those 8 songs or something. I remember being a big 8-tracks advocate. That was like early playlists essentially,
Right.
For the internet. I don't remember what I put on there. I think we were all probably going through a really sad phase. I don't remember. It was probably something really sad and aesthetic, like Young and Beautiful by Lana Del Rey, which is a great song, by the way. But like, it was, you know, when we all got obsessed with the Great Gatsby version of it.
Never seen that movie.
The Leonardo DiCaprio one?
Nope, never seen it.
That's a really good one. You should. I'm gonna make you watch that. I'm gonna make you do a review episode on that.
I could be down. I've heard it's quite the movie. Corey was making fun of me yesterday because she had sent me a clip from Van Wilder, and I was like, I'd never seen Van Wilder. Don't know why.
Yeah, neither have I. So don't feel bad about that.
Okay, I'm not
No,
alone.
you're
But
good.
apparently, there's a line in the movie where a character is named Richard, and so Corey she used to say this to me all the time, and quote it without my knowledge of knowing where it's from. She'd say, "Richard, I didn't know you were a dick." Direct quote from Ryan Reynolds in that movie.
And it comes from Van Wilder. Okay, that's good.
Exactly.
I would never have known. So
Exactly.
that would flown right over my head.
All right. Well, we're talking about music there, which is the perfect transition.
Look
See?
at you. Look at you.
Yeah, like,
we're so good at this.
We can be professionals, right? I mean, that's why I
We're
brought my
so
tie on the show today. Look at that.
He's geared up. What
It's
would you
purple.
consider? What would you consider that pattern?
Very like mosaic.
It's like it's like diagonal Minesweeper.
That's good. Actually.
That's not a thing. I suck at Minesweeper, by the way. To this day, I don't know any of the rules. I just sort of like click buttons, and I know that I think the numbers are supposed to be like adjacent to it, but I blow myself up every time.
That's a good. I was trying to decide which like color to wear, and I decided that it should match our purple color scheme, so that's why I'm wearing purple.
I do. That was spitballing, by the way. I just decided to like pick a color when I did the branding. I was like, maybe I should have asked Richie if he has any particular thoughts or feelings on this. I didn't ask you anything. I just sort of sent you stuff.
No, you
was
just
like,
did it.
"Here
I
you go.
like
Here's what we're going
that. This is a co-branded show. We can work together. I have purple on my hat as well.
That's true. You picked up the accent. You're great.
So
Doing a great job over there.
Anyway, back on track, ladies and gentlemen. Music. Spotify Wrapped came out this week. Blew up on the internet.
The other biggest holiday of the year.
The other biggest holiday. We're all moving to Burlington, Vermont, ladies and gentlemen, apparently.
We are, yeah. If you or someone you know has been diagnosed with your sound town as Berkeley, Cambridge, or Burlington, Vermont, please come be our friend, because that's our niche here. And you may be entitled to financial compensation. So call 1-800-SPOTIFY Wrapped
1-800-SPOTIFY
for your class action lawsuit. It's like the mesothelioma one.
I'm just imagining what happens if you actually call that number and somebody actually picks up from Spotify.
The poor intern at Spotify picks up and is like, I didn't mean to put you all in Burlington, Vermont. It was an error in the code. It was like, but the people that went to Provo, Utah, you belong there.
Yes, was that the one with the? I'm not even gonna go.
I don't know. Because I've only seen a handful of places. Like it, although we
I saw somebody with Flagstaff.
I saw a couple Flagstaff. I saw a handful in Bozeman. I saw some people go to Provo. I think I saw maybe one in College Station. So weird, like Aggies, I guess. But I was talking to some of our other staff members last night, and somebody got put in Regina, Canada, for listening to mostly country music. And I was like, that just means that like Spotify looked at your listening history and was like, we want you out of the country. We don't want you here. You're not representative of U.S. listeners.
I was looking.
Richie,
I'm looking
by the
this
way, you are not included because you have
no. Yeah,
you're a
we're
traitor.
gonna. Yeah, let's do it.
You're a
Let's
traitor.
get into it. You can make fun of me on.
I'm gonna air out all your dirty laundry in this first episode. Richie is a traitor. He's an Apple Music listener.
That's correct.
He's
Apple
proletariat.
Music, baby. There it is. Yep.
He's well, yeah. He's not one of us.
Yep, there it is, right there. Apple Music.
There it is. Apple Music. So tell us about what is it called? Is it Rewind?
It's called Apple Replay.
Okay.
Apple Music Replay. Now, I have some bones to pick with Apple Music because I'm pretty sure their analytics are garbage and they just make it up. Like it doesn't actually count anything because there were some discrepancies in mine that didn't really make sense, even though I'm the one listening to the music. So let me
who did this to my statistics? Oh, it was me.
It was me. Let me pull it up real quick so I can recap it. First of all, the total amount of minutes I listen isn't that high, especially compared to like you or others. Because the only time I really listen,
I have mental illness according to my Spotify. So don't feel bad.
I only really listen like in the car if I'm driving. And that's about it. So I'll go through my Apple Music Replay top artists, which is this actually makes sense. I have some bones to pick later, but here we go. How about I'll just show the people. Look at that. 303 total artists. 333. That's a lot. And then there are my top 5: Taylor, JB, Boy Genius, Half Alive, and Noah Khan. I
think those are all really good choices, I would say. And I do like that, for the most part, because this is what messed with my Wrapped this year a little bit, is that Spotify groups, you get listens for Boy Genius, but then you also get an individual listen for Julian, Phoebe, and Lucy for a Boy Genius song. So my top 5 artists were Taylor Swift, Boy Genius, and each member of Boy Genius. Which, like, I get it, but like I listened to a lot of Julian Baker. We had a hard year, but we had a bonding year, but I didn't listen to that much Phoebe or Lucy individually, but because they got grouped in there. So my theoretical like other top artists probably would have ended up. I'm trying to think about who I got, because that's the other thing about Spotify that you're missing out on is the little artist messages every year that they send you.
I know, that makes me so sad.
So if you're not a Spotify user, but if you're a top fan of an artist and they take the time to record a little message, it's not usually anything crazy, but it's just them saying like, thanks for being one of my Wrapped top listeners this year. And so I'm trying to think about who I got them from. I got it from Taylor. I got one from Boy Genius. I got one from Hosier. I felt like I had a little bit of a Hosier year. I did get one from Noah Khan. I feel like I listened to a lot of Muna this year, but they didn't show up on my artists. They showed up a lot in my top songs because I think you get like 50 of your top songs or something. But I swear it used to be 100. Because I was expecting having some weird stuff in there, like toward the bottom of things that I like. That's the thing though. You ever like you'll run into that one song and you just impulsively play it on repeat like a lot and you get really into it. And I was like, some of that stuff is going to end up on the bottom of my top songs, but they never did. So like maybe we were safe. Maybe my listening habits weren't as bad as I thought they were.
Can I defend Apple Music for a second and why it's better? Why it's better?
Try.
Here, I saw a great tweet about this. I'm going to try and remember it off the top of my head. But it was somewhere along the lines of Spotify is just really good at marketing because the only thing that they do that's better than Apple Music is the Spotify Wrapped. It's a nice little clean package. But other than that, the sound quality and everything and whatnot is better on Apple because you get on Apple, they do the Dolby Atmos. They do the spatial audio as well. That's like encoded in a lot of the songs too. So I will always be an Apple Music guy. I can't switch to Spotify. I don't think I can.
I can be a fan of that. I can appreciate that. You and I are both like very much like audiophiles in that way. We're like we want to hear all the pieces of it, especially if it's like something cool with production or like you said, it's like the the atmospheric audio or whatever. Like people will pull the Dolby Atmos stems and put them on Spotify as like a podcast episode or something just to like get them on that platform. So like that's definitely worth having. But yeah, PR wise, like Wrapped is a big deal. And people are using, this is going to be my gripe. People are using Wrapped in a different way than how it was intended to be used. And that all has to do with the way that we use the internet right now. I think it's like all the teenagers are like hitting play on an artist and letting it play like overnight, like an entire year. I'm like, how are you racking up like 300,000 minutes on an hour? Like there's no way. You're not listening to that many times. Look me in the eye and tell me that you're listening to like, what's a sad song I can think of? Okay, if you out there, listener, are listening to let's say like Unknown Nth by Hosier. If you're listening to Unknown Nth so many times that you're spending over like 100,000 minutes on that song, 1, seek help. 2, that can't be true. You're just hitting play and letting it play. Don't hit play and let it play, guys. Be legit with your Wrapped, because then you can be proud of your results at the end of the year and know that you didn't skew the value. Thank you. There's my soapbox.
PSA.
That's also just my gripe because I've been in the top 0.05 of Taylor Swift's listeners for like 4 or 5 years, and I cannot move that needle because people are hitting play and letting it play for a year.
That's it. That's crazy. First of all, it's killing your battery. I don't know why you're doing that. But my one gripe with Apple is this. It's first of all, it's still updating because this has changed since like they dropped it. And you look at my top songs and it goes by plays. Now, apparently my top song now is $20 by Boy Genius with 46 plays. I swear I've listened to that song more than 46 times. That doesn't make any sense at all.
No, that doesn't statistically make any sense.
Considering I listened to 1,600 minutes of Boy Genius this year, and they only have a finite amount of songs, right? Their entire discography is 12, 16, 22 songs.
Something like basically. That, yeah.
Yeah. And so to have 46 plays be my top song is crazy, which is what Apple's like. That doesn't make any sense. I don't get you, Apple. Because
just look at me real quick. Just you know how many minutes I had on a song that was not even in my top 5. I think I texted you this. I listened to over 500 minutes of the song "Go Home" by Julian Baker. That didn't even make my top 5. I don't think that even made my top 10.
Right?
Horrifying. There was a period of time where I was like, I don't know if Taylor's going to catch up this year because I was doing so much like deep dive listening with other artists. I was like, I don't know if she's going to make it this year, but me and Taylor are like this. So what happened if you just called Taylor up? That's all I have to say about that.
So yeah, so I think so. I don't have, like I said, I don't have Spotify, but I'm assuming I actually brought this up. All the different cities. How did Spotify pick your sound town? Sound towns selected for eligible users are made up of two factors: a user's most streamed artists of the year and the way in which those artists are streamed in other cities. Many cities around the world are highlighted in the experience, but we've seen fans around the world make a select few the talk of the town. So Berkeley, Burlington, Cambridge, city in Brazil that I can't pronounce, Jakarta, York in Great Britain, and they list a few of the songs that are like part of that. Here's Berkeley. We have some SZA. We have Ice Spice, some Cruel Summer by Taylor, Flowers by Miley, New Jeans. I don't know what that is. Anti-Hero, Frank Ocean, Ceilings by Lizzie McAlpine, some more SZA. Burlington, Vermont is my guess where I would have been. Because we got some.
I think you would have been a Burlington girly, or you might have been a Cambridge girly.
Because we got some. We got plenty of Noah here. Stick Season, All My Love, Northern Attitude, Homesick, and we have
Vermont though. Like people in Vermont
yes.
Have to be Noah fans.
Yeah, exactly. And then Flowers by Miley Cyrus. Cambridge is like a little bit of a bunch. We have Harry Styles, Olivia, Noah, Selena Gomez, Morgan Wallen.
Should we use that? Should we use that noise to segue into our next topic?
Yeah, that's perfect. See, we can stay on track.
We're so good at this.
Yep.
Richie, we should make a podcast.
Hey, I'm glad you said that because that's what we're doing right now. I'd love that. Just record our conversations.
So good.
Okay. Oh, you want me to do it? Or you?
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Go
ahead.
Want me to do
yeah,
it?
go ahead. You.
Rock, paper, scissors for it.
Rock. Are we doing rock, paper, scissors?
Rock, paper,
then
scissors.
Shoot?
Go on, shoot.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yep. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, fine. You win. There's a lag. I don't know. I'm gonna call fair play on that one.
All right. Yep. It's rigged, just like the college football playoff,
flag?
ladies and gentlemen.
Throw a flag. There's a flag on the play.
Wait, do you really? Where'd you get that? What?
A magician never reveals their secrets. It's a microfiber towel.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, do you have just like a terrible towel, Pittsburgh Steelers around?
I do have one of those at my house, but no, I should though. I should because you know how they have like the little thing on the end. I should like ball that up and like make a flag out of it.
It is because our plan is to do our segment red flag, green flag every episode. That's what we're gonna do right now. Red flag, green flag, and this time we decided to come up with songs that are red flags and songs that are green flags. We're going to roll through these pretty quickly because we're almost out of time in the hour, for goodness sake. We still have to get to our one brain cell award every week.
That's the crowning moment of each episode. Yep. Yeah.
I actually have notes, believe it or not. I have double-sided notes for.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I just have a couple. I have but mine are more like targeted at artists. So I'm just going to piggyback on you.
All right. Well, I will start. I'll go first then. Let's see. Do you just want me to roll through? I have 4 different green flags here. Artists / songs mostly.
Yeah, roll it. Roll the tape.
Okay, here we go. Green flag, the Beatles. Absolute green flag.
I like that.
One of the greatest bands in the history of mankind. Particular song. Probably my number 1 favorite Beatles song of all time, While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
That's a green flag. I think that's a green flag. You pick somebody that's like Hey Jude, Let It Be, like Orange Flag. It's somewhere in the middle, but you could expand your taste better.
Mm-hmm. So that was the first one I thought of. Next green flag. Here we go. We're gonna get ready to annoy some people here. Green flag. Bye 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 by NSYNC.
Green flag. Hard green. So green. These are all microfiber car towels. I didn't prepare well for this.
Hey, at least you have some colors available. I don't. I haven't ordered my green and red flags yet. They'll be here.
That's a hard green. NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, like Millennium, green flag.
Okay, this is a great transition. I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm about to make you really angry.
Oh no.
You're either or. You can't be both. You can't be both NSYNC and Backstreet. You got to pick one. I'm a Backstreet.
You
I'm
can
not
be
a Backstreet.
both.
I'm not a
No, you
Backstreet
can
Boys
be
guy.
both.
I'm not a Backstreet Boys guy. I was an NSYNC guy. My sisters loved NSYNC. They had, I remember they had one of the first albums that they like had was Celebrity by NSYNC. So I'm an NSYNC guy.
You can be both. That's the equivalent of being a Harry Styles and Taylor Swift person. You can be both. Like it's like mom and dad, you know, like we got a divorce and like mom got custody of me, but I visit dad on the weekends sometimes.
So unfortunately, I'm putting Backstreet Boys, everybody on my red flag list.
That hurts. That really hurts my heart.
Yep.
And I know you can't tell because of the face that I'm making and the prop that I have on my head right now, but it really hurts. That is such a good song. And I know for sure that I put that song on one of my Hot Girl Walk playlists that I sent to you. And now I just can't trust you. Can't trust you anymore.
I'm not saying
Deal breaker.
It's not a bad song. My main theory of the case is you got to pick one. You can't be both. You have to be an NSYNC person or a Backstreet Boys person. You can't be both. That was my main theory of the case there.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Let's see. I'll do. Let's see. Oh, my other big hot take, and then we'll go to yours first for a second before we get to our one brain cell award. My big hot take that I teased you about in our texts. And I'm going to piss a lot of people off here, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's make some enemies in this first episode. Come on.
One of my biggest red flags is, and I can't pick one song, and I don't know any, frankly. Drake. Drake is the biggest red flag for me.
That was on my list too.
It's like a cult, dude. It's weird. It's Taylor.
It's fine, but you need to you need to expand a little bit. I think what crosses it into red flag territory for me is like people that only listen to Drake and they're like immaculate taste is Drake. It's like, that's fine. And he has some good songs, but like you kind of have to go back in there to get the good stuff. Like those lately, the like put out an album once a year kind of cycle from him just like hasn't made anything really memorable to me. And it like, I don't know if this is just me like reading too much into it, but I think like as an artist, you should maybe prioritize quality over quantity at a certain point. But I'm gonna go hands off on that because he has a lot more money than I do. But like, still, I think if you're only Drake, red flag.
Mm-hmm. He's that's the thing. Is like Taylor Swift fans, Swifties, like we're a cult. Okay,
that's
we
true.
Acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but it's a cult in a much different way than Drake is, because I feel like Swifties, it's harder to make Taylor Swift your entire personality, if that makes any sense. Whereas people who are Drake fans will make Drake their entire personality because he's got like shoes and merch out the ass, basically. They're like
the owl stuff, the OVO owl stuff.
Exactly. Plus he's a front runner for everybody. Get out of here with that. Get out of here. All right. So those are a few of my green and red flags. What do you got?
Those were on my list. My other red flags that I came up with were Morgan Wallen.
Mm-hmm.
Red flag. Just pop country for me just does not hit. And he has some questionable character choices, which also lead into my other red flag, which is Kanye West exclusively. Red flag. Life choices, red flag. And this one is maybe going to make some people angry, but I threw the red flag on the Chainsmokers, which I know that like I talked about earlier in the show going to see them, but it just doesn't stand out for me. If you're a person whose Spotify top artist of the year is the Chainsmokers, like do you have a personality? What are you listening to? Please come up with something. Please develop a formative experience, because if you're still listening to Closer featuring Halsey in the year 2023, then I have some thoughts. Also, I threw a red flag on meme songs from TikTok being in your top songs, but with the asterisk, the condition on that you had to have learned about them from TikTok. So if you came upon like what went viral on TikTok, like from Wednesday, Bloody Mary, the Lady Gaga song. I love that album. I purchased that album. That's in my soul somewhere. It's also in my iTunes if you go back far enough to find it. But if you stumbled upon Bloody Mary, you stumbled upon Lady Gaga. I'm going to say it too many times and she's going to show up in the mirror. I just realized that. I need to stop saying the title. But if you discovered that song, or you discovered Lady Gaga, or you discovered that album from that like sped up version going viral on TikTok, red flag. That's me.
I feel personally attacked by that because
you and
I have discussed this before because I called it. I think you had sent me.
You said the Wednesday meme song.
Yes, because you had it in one of the playlists that you made.
Yeah.
And that's what I called that song.
and I don't even have that in writing. I didn't prepare that bit. That's just what I came up with. But you can tell that it offended me so deeply that I remember exactly what you called it. Yeah.
This podcast is over because
you saw the rise and fall, the absolute beef that happened in the first episode, and we're not getting past the pilot.
We're not getting picked up this series.
We did not get a series renewal.
The executives did not bring us back. All right, let's wrap up the program with our awards. We're calling it the One Brain Cell Award. This is essentially because Jordan and I have one shared brain cell. We do something throughout the week that is really dumb, most often than not. So every week we're going to give ourselves the One Brain Cell Award and call ourselves out for something stupid that we did. And hopefully some of you at home listening will relate. I get to my red and green flags are first, so I will let you go first.
I'll lead. Okay. Mine is related to this actually. And I told you before we started recording that I was going to save it. You know me, I like to prepare. I like to have it like written out. I like to have kind of an organized structure. Like we have a shared Google document between us of the stuff that we want to talk about on the podcast episode. And I did a lot of like meticulous preparation, like stuff that I was writing down, especially for like the songs, like green flag, red flag segment. And I prepared it all and I put it in a note on my phone. The issue with that is my phone is currently my webcam. So I can't get to it. So I have all this stuff that I had like written up and like tried to include for like material. I can't get it. I can't access it. I don't have it. There's no way because it's currently running my camera and there's no way for me to get a hold of it.
Can I I'm pretty sure there's a fix to that. You have a MacBook, right now?
I do.
Do you have the Notes app on your MacBook?
I don't think so.
Or is that just a newer MacBook thing?
I don't know. I have Notes, but like I don't know if it transfers in that way. But either way, I was like, I prepared and then I like got all set up and got this thing down. I was like, oh, we're gonna have to do it live. I don't have a choice. So I don't know. Maybe your add-on to that made it worse. Like we took that down to like a half a brain cell because you were like, if you had just tried a little bit harder, maybe you could have figured it out. All right. Cheers to that. This is my Taylor Swift mug. Cheers to that.
Wait, let me see that. Where's is it really?
It says president of the Taylor Swift fan club. It's mirrored, but like, yeah.
I love that.
Anyway, half a brain cell award for me.
I bet you the reason why is because I have one of the newer MacBooks and it'll with the M1 chip, and then with that it is easier to pair with your phone, and so I can get my notes on my phone, and they'll show up on my MacBook too.
That's really fair. I'm gonna have to try that out.
So what we've learned is that you have to write out your notes from now on. That's what we've learned. That's why. Yeah,
I left handwritten notes behind in grad school.
All right. I know I usually don't do that either. I never write anything down anymore. But for whatever reason, I was like, what's the easiest way for me to do this? To take notes for our second episode. Wink. It was to just write them on a piece of paper and handwriting that I can barely read. And it's my own handwriting.
I can't barely read it either. You sent it to me and you were like, here's the notes I was taking. I was like, what does that say?
Yep. Welcome to my world where I write like a 5-year-old.
Go for
Actually,
it. Yeah.
worse than a 5-year-old, to be honest, because my old roommate's daughter had much better handwriting than I did. Shout out Iz.
It's excellent. Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah, she's in first grade now. She's in first grade, has much better handwriting than I do. And it's like not even close.
So fair. All right, where's your brain cell at this week?
All right. So I actually had a pretty smart week this week, all things considered. I feel like
I'm so proud of you.
Because I was like, I knew this was coming and I wasn't sure. I was like, I need to come up with something. I didn't do anything all that stupid this week until yesterday. And so my current like hyperfixation breakfast is pancakes.
That's a good choice.
I love making blueberry pancakes. I made some blueberry pancakes this morning and they turned out delicious. Very, very good. Lots of syrup. Top notch. Problem is, I always have problem flipping the pancakes over and doing it the right way. 9.95 times out of 10, I will do that correctly. However, yesterday I have like it's like a little like it's a griddle / grill like all-in-one thing that I use for this, and so it's like a flat griddle.
Gotcha.
And it's about the size of like your laptop, basically, right? Maybe a little bit bigger.
Yeah, and I'm familiar. I think we have one of those at home.
And so I made the mistake of pouring the pancake. I made too much of it, so the consistency was. I had to make sure the consistency was right to pour it. And so when I first like measured it out, it didn't. The consistency wasn't right, so I had to add more in to make more pancake.
Oh, no.
Pour out the pancake. It's a pretty big sized pancake, like even bigger than Denny's.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why
LFG Denny's.
And so I poured it out. Great. Perfect. Okay. It's coming out nicely. I kind of like, put the spatula underneath and then I kind of check to make sure it's brown enough to flip. And it is. It's great. Put the spatula underneath, go to flip it. When I flip it over, I don't flip it over in the right spot. So when I flipped it over, half of the pancake was over the edge of the griddle.
Oh no, counter pancake.
I should have taken a picture of it so you could see how much of a mess I made.
You should.
And so half the pancake was like coming off the side of the particular cooking device.
Oh no.
And I managed to like fix it enough to where I could still eat the pancake, which was nice, but I did lose quite a bit of it and just made a mess everywhere. And so that made me feel really stupid. And I was really sad because I had to go and clean up all the stupid mess I got like all over my oven. And it was like, that wasn't fun.
That's true. I think that's an under-discussed element of cooking for yourself as an adult is like, it's great because you can make whatever you want whenever you feel like it. But if you mess it up, you have to clean it. And then you just feel like an idiot the whole time that you're cleaning it.
Yes.
It's like, I did that. I don't know how long ago, but I like went to try and crack an egg and I'm not a chef, but I was like, I'm going to crack an egg one-handed and just see what happens. And like crack an egg and I like shattered it and like the shell went everywhere and it was like on my hand and then like on the counter. And then you just feel like an idiot because you have to clean it up yourself. And you're like, why did I think that was a good idea in the first place? I think that's the downfall to cooking for yourself as an adult is whenever that's just a downfall to being an adult in the first place. Is like, if you do something stupid, you have to deal with it.
It's your fault.
It's your fault. It's your fault.
All right. Well, that's an hour and 10 minutes down, ladies and gentlemen. We went overboard as we do. We went on a I feel like overall we did pretty good about staying on topic, to be honest.
That feels pretty close to me. I'm good with that chunk, that clip.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Let's say goodbye. Do you have any last words?
Do I have any last words? I probably shouldn't because it's gonna derail the whole thing. So no, I'm good.
All right.
I'm not gonna make it worse.
Yeah, my old sign off used to be I used to say good night and good hockey, but we're not talking about hockey here, so I have to come up with a new version of that.
I'm trying to think about the one that I used to use on my Twitch stream. What was it? It was just like be kind to yourselves, be kind to others.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's close enough.
That feels good. I'm wearing the merch essentially. It's not my own merch, but it's still a good shirt.
All right, I'll say this. All right, for Jordan, I've been Richie. Thank you for listening to 1 Hour 1 Brain Cell, the premiere episode. If you made it all the way through 1 hour and 10 minutes, God bless you. Good night and good holidays, everybody.